Hello, this is John with Theology Ed. This is a follow-up video to my Get Out Predictive Programming video, which you've recently seen. John Smith in the comments made a really interesting observation about the title of the film, and I want to make sure that doesn't get lost in comments, so I want it to be in a short video here, along with an additional confirmation that he's right. Let me go and just quickly review. Get Out, of course, is a film that has a lot of predictive programming, features the buck repeatedly, and gives us the understanding of the three-phase plan to bring about the New World Order, or the Aeon of Horus, or the Age of Aquarius, or whatever you want to call it. They have different ways of referring to it. But this new way of life in a post-Christian world where they control everything and the population has been reduced and so on. Now, all that planning in various other films and programs and television shows and things like this revolves around the 2020 June 21st annular eclipse, and then the subsequent buck moon, which seems to be the date on which the demons are released by their magical powers, and the world really enters into phase 2 of the plan, which is to break us psychologically in preparation for this new world order. Now we see these dates, of course, in IPECO 2. We've reviewed this so many times. It's important. I'll mention again, the girl is the June 21st annular eclipse in the classroom calendar, and the buck moon immediately behind her is represented by the male buck rabbit. And so we have these again. So those are the dates we're looking at. Now, what John Smith noticed was that this name, the name of the film, is a bit strange. It didn't, to his mind, perfectly match up with the film. So he wanted to look into the name and see if there was any hidden meaning in it. And he found one. He didn't have to dig far or hard in the sense of, make up something really weird and bizarre. He just assigned a number to each letter in the alphabet. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, all the way to Z is 26. And he said, G is 7, E is 5, T is 20. 7, 5, 20. That's the buck moon. That's what the whole film is about. It's all about the buck moon. And then O is 15, U is 21, and T is 20. Now, of course, there's no month 15, but when you combine them, like numerologists often do, they take the numbers, they add them up and all that sort of weird stuff. They say 1 and 5 is 6. Well, now you got 6, 21, 20. 6, 21, 20. Now, what are the odds you're going to get both of the key dates in the title of the film? Like this. Very unlikely. Now, that's a fantastic observation, and I really appreciate John Smith making that observation. I didn't want that to just remain a comment forever. I really think a video needed to be made about it. But I want to add something to it that confirms he's right. If somebody sort of like me, and they're always sort of hesitant, combining numbers in weird ways, it seems sort of strange. 1 and 5 gets to be a 6. You can do anything if you start combining numbers. Well, in this case, I think not only is it almost certainly not a coincidence that the two dates are there, but let's add one more thing to it. Look at the font on the poster. The 7520 word, get, appears to be the surface of the moon as the font. It's the moon's surface with even some of the little imperfections and blemishes on the moon's surface to give it the coloration of the moon. Then we go to the word out, which is the annular eclipse, which has dark in the middle and just an outline. And we have out, exactly like that. It's using the annular eclipse font, if you want to call it that, and get is using the lunar font. You have get as the moon, out as the annular eclipse, and it's saying get out for these dates. And if you put it with the sister film, if you want to call it the sister film, the Us film, which is the second film Jordan Peele wrote and directed, which also is loaded with predictive programming and symbolism, and I'm going to do a video about that, hopefully very soon. It looks like Get Out US. Get out of the US. That's what it looks like when you put them together. This is what one commenter mentioned as well. Get out of the US. And so it's really interesting observation. I think it's almost impossible if that's a coincidence. Almost, I may not even want to use the word almost, but yeah, get out. July 5th, 2020, June 21st, 2020, lunar font, annular eclipse font, if you want to call it that, and you have it right there. Okay, so one more piece of evidence to confirm that we are on the right track, that we're understanding this correctly. And while we may have details that are a little fuzzy at different places, the big picture is right. Their plan, at least, is to get up to this eclipse followed by moon date in June and July. Things are already, as you can tell, gradually changing. Under lockdown, they're preparing us for the next phase, which will begin in earnest this summer into the fall and winter. At which point, I don't know exactly what it's going to be like, but if their depiction of it is accurate or even remotely close to what's really going to happen, it's supposed to be pretty hard on people. Okay? And so let's be ready for it. Take care, like, subscribe, and all that.